Hello and welcome to the second stream. This is just gonna be me talking and stuff. So as some of you probably seen, I was broadcasting with Tim the Cyborg yesterday. And yeah, it was a nice talk and stuff, but we had really opposing views. I suppose I really felt that we didn't really agree on some stuff. But yeah, I don't really want to talk about that. I just want to chill in this broadcast. Nothing really special. I want to talk about the last decade, 2010, in retrospect, which is the title of this video. Yeah, I missed the 2010s. I cannot deny that. I had so many fucking good memories from the last decade. It was nice. It was really nice. But I guess the fun is over, and it comes a time when you're just you're expected to be all grown up and shit, and you're forced to take responsibilities and stuff. That's just the way it is. And I mean, I'm nothing against taking responsibility and working and stuff. I mean, I'm not afraid of that. I've been wage cooking since I was 20, so that's not an issue for me. It's just that when you are in a sort of working environment, it takes a toll on you, and unfortunately, the male organism, the male body, it just cannot survive for that long if it's not compensated sexually. So it's a tragic thing. It's a sad thing. Most of us wish things wouldn't be like this, but they are because of the reasons. So I mean, the insulin issue is just tragic. There's not much else to say about it. All you can really do is just try to make the best of it, in whatever possible way you can. You just have to use the tools that you were given, and there's not much else you can do, Oh, hi, Ronald McDonald. Thanks for giving me that subhuman discount coupon last time I went there to McDonald's. Thanks for that. Yeah, I might as well show your comment there. I can show comments. Oh, that's nice. The world ended in 2012. Yeah, it did, I guess. Yeah, 2012 was that was a good year. 2012, I remember that year. It was a nice year, to be honest. I was in high school that year. I think it was my that was my first year of high school, and I started the second year of high school right after that summer of that year. And yeah, that was a fun year, 2012. I remember I was playing Black Ops 2. Yeah, that was a fun game, especially zombies on that game. Yeah, it was fun. I used to play with some British folks on that game. Yeah, yeah, it was an awesome year. Um, After that year, I mean, what year did stuff start to go down? I mean, it's different for everyone. You know, everyone has their own sort of opinions on when it all started to go to shit and stuff. Ronald McDonald says 2013. Well, 2013, I don't know. I mean, 2013, that was a good year for me as well. That wasn't a bad year. I remember Dead Space 3 being released that year, and I played that with my friends. Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of the only years, the year where the 2010s started to go to shit was, at least in my opinion, it was 2000 and 2018. To be honest, 2018. Before that, 2017, that was a good year. I don't remember that year was as being shitty. So yeah, for some reason, 2018 it just started to go in shit that year. But that was mostly because I suffered from a head trauma, which wasn't even in 2018. It was in 2017 October, back when I was practicing boxing and stuff. I was sparring with this really big dude who weighed like, I don't know, I mean, 20 to 30 pounds more than me. It was just a really bad idea. But since I was a compensating subhuman at that time, I really felt that like I had to, show, really compensate the shit out of my subhumanity, which is always a bad idea. So I tried to be this really tough guy, which I wasn't, which I never was. So I suffered from this head trauma, and because of that, I'm now suffering from tinnitus on my right ear, which isn't that bad, but I still hear it when it's really quiet, which is annoying. And I got scarring on my visual cortex, and now I have this visual snow, which I had to deal with every single fucking day. So yeah, it was because of that month in 2017 of October where shit just started to, it just started looking bad because of that head injury. Yeah, hi Albert, nice to see you here. I hope I hope you're all enjoying the stream. I'm sorry if I'm boring. I know that I'm a very boring person. If I'm boring, just leave. I'm not forcing anyone to watch this. But yeah, thanks for listening if you are. But yeah, man, I'm not denying that the insulin issue it's hard to deal with. And unfortunately, it's only going to get worse. It doesn't get better with time, unfortunately. And you just have to find. Oh, thanks, Albert. I'm glad you like my videos. Yeah, I was gonna say that you just have to find your opium. There are so many. You are as boring as Chewy, the rice, which is okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, what I was gonna say is that I mean, you just have to find your opium in life, and there are a lot of opiums in life, many different sorts of opiums. My opium is philosophy and my waifu, and now and then a couple of video games to play, but it's not really the same as it was before. Video games just don't cut it as much as they did back when I was in my teens. It just doesn't anymore. So yeah, I mostly just read books and stuff and draw sometimes. I like to draw really degenerate stuff, like me banging my wife and stuff. I mean, I just really get off to that, as a subhuman, you just have to cope the best you can, I find it really funny when I hear these normies in the black pill community shaming other incels for doing degenerate shit. I mean, when you are a subhuman, I mean, there's just so little things that you can do to keep you sane. So it's pretty logical that you fall into into doing degenerate stuff, because normal shit just doesn't cut it. It doesn't do it. So testosterone will go down, then maybe women will be invisible to us. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right about that. When you get older, naturally testosterone goes down. So I guess the pain wears off as well. You become dull from it. So, but I don't know. I mean, all of that depends exactly on your testosterone levels, and a lot of men have testosterone levels even above those ages, really high. So I guess the only type of cells that will be able to survive to old age will be low T cells, I guess, because they're not as affected with the pain of having this low test stuff, which is urging you to breed, I guess. So yeah, forced out of generative society, procreation, family success. So degenerative, obscure copes become necessary, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Try finasteride. It's a very good cope. Well, I'm not. If I'm not mistaken, finasteride is a drug against hair loss, right? So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have. I still have a lot of hair. It's a little bit thinner than before, but it's still pretty thick anyway. So I don't think I need it right now. Maybe I'll need it when I get older. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you have those issues, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to take that. I mean, I've heard some side effects that aren't that pretty. For example, I don't know if these side effects are really real, because I know that there's a lot of side effects that are made up. But from what I've heard is that finasteride could give you erectile dysfunction. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I've heard. But yeah, that doesn't sound good to me. I want a good working penis, to be able to coom good. So that doesn't sound good for me at all. So I'd rather lose my hair, to be honest. Yeah, I'd rather lose it. Yeah, I'm gonna drink some Pepsi while I'm doing this to calm my nerves. I'm not really good with these broadcasts. I'm not a broadcasting person, you know. I'm a fucking loner, so I don't really like to talk much. But it's nice to vent, I guess. Hopefully this stream doesn't become too boring. I just shaved my head, bald, done. Yeah, Ronald McDonald. Yes, that's pretty high IQ, to be honest, because I mean, when you're a subhuman, I mean, it's just what does it matter if you have hair or not? I mean, you know, it's like if you have shitty facial features, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're bald or not. I mean, it's just over, you know, no matter what. So might as well just save the money that you would waste it on finasteride and just shave it off, you know, and save that cash for good copes instead of wasting it on stupid drugs, you know, that were never going to help you anyway. Time to put a clown wig onto hair, Max. Yeah. Yeah. My hairlines is getting backwards, so I believe I'm going to be a bald Mexican mallet in my 30s. It's over. Yeah, I'm sad to hear that, man. I'm sad to hear that. That doesn't sound too good. No wig for your face. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Unless, of course, you're wearing a mask. So I guess mask maxing will be a thing. You will put on a Chad mask. Maybe you will be able to ascend that way. Do you think there is some truth to the oofy doofy theory? Well, the thing is that, I mean, women. Of course, women are having relationships with sub-8 males. I've never denied that. It's just that I don't buy this whole notion that sub-8 males are breeding. I don't see that. I mean, yeah, I see occasionally. I see older women with some ugly guys, but I don't believe they're breeding. I just don't. I mean, look at the kids that they're having. Look at all the young kids there you see. Pretty much all the young kids I see, all the Zoomers I see today, I barely see any ugly Zoomers. I barely see any of them. Now, I don't know if it's because they're not born at all, or it's because they're rotting in their rooms. I don't know, but I just I don't see as many ugly people as you would have seen if it really was the case that oofy doofies are breeding, which I just don't see it. I just don't see that being the case. So I just think that oofy doofy is just another way of it's just another way of explaining cuckold theory, because that's just what I see. All these women with all these low tier men in relationships. It's just that they most of the time they're cucks. Most of the time, what they're doing is they're just raising Chad's offspring, and I just don't see them breeding. I just don't see the logic in this. Single moms have tall, good-looking sons, from what I've seen. I wonder why. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I don't buy this whole oofy doofy shit. We have all these red pillars like Held by the Dashboard Light and all these other guys that say that, well, no, the Chads are the real losers. They are the real incels. Like masking them as the victims here, and masking us incels as if we're the top players here, when we're obviously not. You know, if oofy doof theory really was a legit fucking theory, and really was legit in practice, then we wouldn't be here. You know, we wouldn't be here rotting in YouTube. You know, listen, you wouldn't be here listening to this fucking stream if it was legit. So that's why I just don't buy it. You know. So that's just the sad fact of today, is that if you want to have a relationship in the West, you have to be a cuckold. That's what I would call Ufidufi theory. It's just cuckold theory. You know, you just have to be, you have to put up with some other man's child that isn't yours. And what I predict is going to happen in the incel community, these so-called incels in the black pill community will call you a volcel if you don't take chat scraps, which is already happening right now. I mean, I've already been called a volcel by First, just because I don't want to settle with the single mom that I'm banging. I mean, it's just no. If I'm a volcel because of that, then whatever, call me a volcel. I don't give a shit anymore. If anything, I'm a black pillar first, and incel, fake cell, whatever cell you want to call me, or whatever the thing that I want to identify myself as, that comes second. So I guess it's my way of solving this whole issue that you guys are having with me. If you don't think that I'm an incel, then well, that's your opinion. That's your definition. I don't give a shit. I'm a black pillar first and foremost. If you see me as an incel or fake cell, that's up to you. You know, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Do you think that inceldom is usually caused by bad social skills? Well, of course it is. I never said that. I've never said that. I've never said that bad social skills is not a factor. Of course it is. Of course it's a factor, but yes, as long as you have good looks, you know, good looks trumps everything. You know, I am a lookist. That's just because my experience with it is just I just don't see how people can deny it still. It's just dumb, you know. Lookism is the rule, you know. If you have a good enough looks, it doesn't matter if you have really bad social skills, you know. My former chat friend that I had, that I fucking ghosted because he only saw me as a fucking wallet. He was terrible at fucking social skills, way more terrible than me. Yet he was cucking a fucking stem cell with this blonde trophy wife of his, you know. That stem cell had. I mean, that just shows you that social skills. If you think your inceldom is because of a lack of social skills, no, that comes. I think it comes like secondary. But first and foremost, it's because of your looks. So yeah, it's scope. I think if you think that you're incel because of your social skills, yeah, no, I don't buy it. MGTOW in theory is good, but in practice is bad, like communism. Yeah, I guess. I mean, MGTOW is. I like the overall philosophy of MGTOW, like dealing with it all. I mean, I like it, but it's just that the only issue I have with MGTOW is that they just don't want to admit that they were sent the wrong way. That's the only issue here. You can't fucking come and tell me that you're choosing to fucking abstain from women. We both know that's a lie. You can't lie to yourself, you know. That's the thing I hate more than anything: self-deception. So I mean, of course, a lot of people go MGTOW because of their bad experiences with women as well. But of course, these bad experiences stem from the fact that you are a subhuman. You know, that women just see you as this pile of trash. that is supposed to be used for money and nothing else, or as an emotional dumpster, and that's it. But you wouldn't have this MGTOW philosophy if you were a Chad. If you were a Chad, you would love women. You would love to spend time with them because your whole experience with them has been pleasant. So as a Chad, you wouldn't even know what MGTOW is. Look at all these MGTOW guys. You see it for yourself. Most of them are just ugly guys that were sent their own way, and that's just a brutal, harsh reality. It's just evolution in action, So yeah. Yeah, Fred. I mean, isn't it obvious by now? It's by extreme ugliness, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. You have to go your own way because you don't have a choice. Yeah. I mean, the whole issue about choice is pretty. It's a pretty deep rabbit hole because if you want to go into the whole philosophy aspect of choice, you realize that there's actually no such thing as choice. Because if you look back at it, you didn't choose to be born. You didn't choose your physical characteristics, your mental characteristics. You didn't choose either. All of these attributes that were inherited that you inherited from your parents. I mean, you choose none of that. Let alone the fact that you didn't choose to exist. So you'll come to the conclusion that there is no choice. That everything just happens automatically, A lot of guys in MGTOW are old boomers, divorced, and Gen Xers. I mean, there are some young guys as well. It's not just old types. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, it is generally boomers and Gen Xers. You're right about that. But I think that's going to change. Especially this decade. More and more young people are going to identify with it because the truth is just too horrible. There will never be a MSTOW, MSTOW will just never happen. It's just easier to identify with MGTOW because it's comfier to think of yourself as if that was your choice. People just don't want to swallow the truth that they were never wanted to begin with. That they were destined to be bred out of the gene pool, basically. It's harsh to accept that, but yeah. What's this? In my honest opinion, ideal MGTOW is not needing female validation and focus on your happiness, selfish interests. But in reality, 99% of YouTube channels, they only bash at women, thinking they are in control. Yeah, that's you hit the nail. You hit the nail on the head right there. Yeah, it is right. It is like that. Yeah, ideally, it is about having a sort of rational egoism, which is my personal philosophy, which I've taken from my favorite philosopher of all time, the Jewish philosopher Spinoza. Yeah, of course, rational egoism, to live for yourself and all that, which is what we all deep down do anyway, no matter what we do. So yeah, but in reality, yeah, it is just a blind delusional sense of control of your situation, when in fact it's just not. So but yeah, the overall philosophy, you can't deny that it is helpful. It is practical to have the MGTOW mentality. I don't deny that. I don't get me wrong. If there's any MGTOW listening, I'm not against MGTOWers. It's just that I'm. It's just that I just don't want them to keep lying to themselves and say that they were. That they chose to go their own way, because they already know deep inside that they didn't. It's just that self-denial is way more comfier. It's way comfier to live in self-denial than keep living than live in objective facts. So that's just how humans are, I guess. I don't know, man. Most incels aren't that ugly. It's just that the women only find attractive very few men. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, I guess that's also a factor that plays in. Is this is the fact that women's standards are just so fucking high. You're right about that. You're right. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, for example, a couple decades ago, a high tier normie of today or subway male of today would have been a Chad back then, but today, even just sub-8 males are subhumans. So, I mean, yeah, it's just a lot of factors that play in, and you're right about that. But I mean, the thing is that we have to keep in mind that at the end of the day, who chooses what kinds of genetic expressions get to be expressed in the future? Men do not have the power over that. Women do. And because men just don't want to take that power away from women because of civil rights, then that will never change. It just won't. I just don't see how that will change. So yeah, it's just that's just a situation that we have to live with. Can a woman that has lost her virginity truly love someone again, or is that just cope? I don't. Well, that's a sensitive topic. I mean, logically speaking, no. I mean, women just aren't really built, epigenetically built for that. Some specific women are. Some specific women are really just they just want to get pumped and dumped and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't really studied that much on female psychology, so it could really be just a myth that we have, that we would like them to have this sort of monogamous mentality. But I guess because of evolutionary pressures, they really just have this. They really just rather get pumped and dumped, unfortunately. And that just that's shown in today's society when we give them these little civil rights, is that they're showing their true nature. Sadly enough, and that forces us to introspect and realize that maybe perhaps all of these romantic ideas that we had about women, all of this shit was just blue pill stuff that was just meant for us to get hooked on the societal machine, I guess. But I guess all of that was bullshit. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, you still can't deny that there are some women that that do want to have just one partner. It's just that those type of quality women, I guess, if that is what your definition of quality is, then yeah, I'm sorry. Those types of women are very few that want to have just one partner to spend their whole life with. You're lucky if you have that. You're very lucky if you find that someday. And I don't deny that subhumans could find that, but it's just that the probability of finding that is just ridiculously low. So yeah, I just wouldn't get my hopes up, Yeah, like as a standard, you just have to be Chad, just to have that chance by default. So yeah. Don't know about the female, but I would find it hard to love a non-virgin female. Yeah, it's the same here. I just I don't know what it is. I don't know why I have this mentality, but I cannot get rid of it. I just can't get rid of it. It's just so hardwired into me, and I just think that it's maybe it's just an evolutionary failure to have that sort of mentality, because especially today, that mentality just doesn't benefit the survival of your organism. So yeah, I have that mentality as well. I just can't see myself with someone that has been with some other guys. I just can't see myself with a non-virgin woman. I just can't do it. I can't do it. And I'd rather die alone and kill off my genes than settling with someone that has been with someone else. Call me a fake cell, call me a bull cell. I don't give a shit. That's just yeah. I have that mentality as well. Yeah, I just don't want to know. I'd rather die alone, to be honest. Now I don't know if that's ever gonna change, because I already said this. I've already expressed this, that I know myself, but at the same time, I don't know how I'm gonna change in the future. So I could possibly end up being a cuck that settles with some used up roast beef in the future, but I just don't. Hopefully that never happens, and I'm gonna do my best to make sure that never happens, because I'd rather kill myself than do that. But that's just, especially now. No, I don't see that happening anytime soon. And call me whatever name you want, but no, virgin teen or death. I'm sorry. And the next best thing after that is my plushie, my waifu. So yeah, either I get that or I just rot with my waifu. That's my mentality, and I know that it's not a evolutionary beneficiary sort of mentality to have, because I will kill off my genes. But at the same time, I mean, who gives a fuck about genes? Because genes get diluted anyway. I mean, your genetic expressions get diluted anyway with the coming of generations. So it's just pointless to give a fuck about that. It's basically over for normies in 2021. Most men will be sent their own way in the generation coming up. Yeah, that's pretty much correct. Yeah, there's still a lot of arguments back and forth in the black pill incel community about whether this is exaggerated. I mean, I don't know about that, because when I've left my room, when I've left my basement and gone out to town and stuff and done stuff, I mean, occasionally I do see sub-8 males together with some chicks, but these are really low tier chicks they're with, So I don't know. I mean, that's just cucked. to be honest. I'd rather rot with my Wi-Fi plush than be with some low-tier fucking toilet. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't see how that is life mogging. I don't know. I mean, when I see all these cute teens, these very high value females, I mean, they're just I keep seeing them over and over and over again. They're with all these white tall chads that completely hype mog me, and it's just it's suicide fuel, So like be honest with yourself. Who do you envy most? Do you envy the normie who has this relationship with this really low tier fucking toilet that has been with Chad before? Or do you envy the fucking tall Chad guy who has fucking slept with all these sluts and is banging all these prime teen JBs, Who do you envy the most? Who would you rather be? Of course it would be Chad, So yeah, if I can't have what Chad's having, then forget it. I'm not gonna sell for lower than that. So I'd rather rot with my fucking plushie. I don't give a fuck. I mean, call me a Volsel or a fake soul or whatever. I mean, I don't give a shit. Just live off internal validation, bro. Yeah, I mean, that does sound cope. That does sound like cope at first glance, but it really is a sort of way you have to program yourself at the end of it, because if you have to live off external validation all the time, which is something that is contingent, it just becomes a hassle at the end of it. Because I've seen this a lot with a lot of my coworkers and bosses. I just think it's so sad how normies, normal people, basically just always try to latch on to external validation. I mean, oh, is he liking me? Oh, is she liking me? As if that is the end of the world type of shit that is happening. And I just don't see how external validation is better than having internal validation. I don't see how that is better. So I know that internal validation, it does sound like hope at first glance, but at the end of it, it will help you more than constantly trying to find external validation. So yeah, I mean, you're just forced to take either one, and both of them come with their prices. If you want to have external validation, then you will always need to have people right next to you. That's a sort of symbiosis that you have to have. But if you don't want that, and you just want to have internal validation, then you have to deal with loneliness. So both of these symbiosis, both of these dynamics have their prices that you have to pay. So it doesn't really matter what you choose at the end of it. It's all dependent on how you were structured, how your mind is structured. So it's not really a issue of what is better or what is worse. So you'll never find happiness. Yeah, pretty much. I don't deny that. I'm not happy. I'm fucking miserable. And I'll always be a miserable fuck. That's just what life is on default. This whole idea that you can be happy all the time is just it's just bullshit, Especially with all these self-improvement gurus that tell you, that they know a trick on how to be happy all the time. And if only you just buy my course, bro, I can teach you how. You just need to meditate more. You just need to do this more. You just need to focus on this more and stuff. And it just it's just no. It's better to just accept the fact that you will never be fucking happy and just live with it. You know, that's just what life is on default. You will always be a miserable fuck until the day you die. So that's just the brutal reality of it. You know? You can cope with books like I'm doing, and cope with video games, and cope with escorts, drugs, beer, or whatever. But I mean, these are just opium at the end of it, and it's just you'll never be happy at the end of it. You know? Even having fucking kids is cope, unfortunately. The harsh reality is that people generally just have kids just to pass time, you know, because life is, as default, it is boring as fuck, and you're just miserable as fuck. So you just have to find whatever way that you can to live a reasonably happy life. But at the end of it, everyone is fucking miserable, but nobody fucking wants to admit it. But yeah, that's just the sad reality about it, is that misery is just repeated. And for some reason, people just want to spread this issue of life on. They just want to reincarnate so many fucking innocent souls back so they can suffer just like they do. That's why I just don't find this phenomena of existence I don't find any sort of point in it. And you may ask me, well, then why are you still alive, Martyros? Well, that's a good question. It's because I just it's because of my wife. You know, my family. My death would destroy my family so hard, and I care about my family. You know, I don't want to hurt them. So my family and my wife are the only two things that are keeping me going. So that's your answer. You know, but if it wasn't for, if I didn't have my wife, or if I didn't have my family, I wouldn't be here, because life is just so fucking boring, and it's just a nightmare. Even when you have everything you want, you'll never be happy. And I'm just so sick of pretending that it's not a nightmare, because it is. It's a fucking, it's a nightmare of the worst kind. I try to cope sometimes with philosophy, like for example, Leibniz's philosophy. He had the idea that this is the best of all possible worlds that could have been done, and that's a nice thought to have. And holy shit, perhaps maybe Leibniz is right, but maybe Leibniz was right, but I find it hard to believe that. I find it really hard to believe that this is the best possible world that could have been created. I don't know, but all I know is that I just don't want to repeat this. I don't want to repeat this because it's just so boring. It's so fucking boring. It's so vain. It's so empty. It's just no, thank you. I no. I have my own theory. I think that what is happening right now is that the elites are forcing anti-natalism on the population. So even if you're an anti-natalist or not, whether you are that or not, it doesn't matter, because you're forced to be that anyway, because of the way that society is structured right now. So I don't know. I don't care if you call me out on that, but I agree with that. I agree with their plan. I agree with their plan, whatever plan that is that they're having. I mean, I'm sorry, but I agree with it. I'm sorry. You can call me out on it, and I don't care. I agree with it. If that is their plan, if their plan is to slowly extinguish this race, then so be it. I mean, if yeah, maybe that's for the best, because I just don't see how this evolutionary process has benefited our organism, because as you all know, we are basically animals that have become too self-aware, and it's precisely that self-awareness that is the problem, because we've been able to reflect on ourselves and create concepts that completely sit outside of the laws of nature. So animals, they don't have this existence, they don't have this phenomena of experiencing themselves as if they are individuals, but we have, because of our extremely abstract way of thinking. So it could be that very abstract way of thinking is an evolutionary failure that right now is starting to correct itself with the use of these I don't know, these social how do you say it, this social engineering that is being imposed by the elites, I guess. So and I remember recalling, I recall Steve Hoka, if any of you guys heard of him. I recall him talking about this, that Steve Hoka, he knows his stuff. He has researched about how the elites function, how they work, how they do their businesses, and he knows that the people at the top have information about how the human organism works, so they know how to manipulate the masses in a very, very precise way. So they know how our instincts work, how we think, and what we like and what we like to waste our time on. And it's just social engineering at its finest. And what can you say? I mean, it's we may not like it because we are at the bottom of it, but that's just the natural law taking place, and there's not much you can do about it. You don't see God punishing them for doing it, so I guess this is what God wants, if he even exists, which I don't think so. At least I don't believe, at least not the traditional God that people like to believe in, the one that takes care of you. So yeah, I mean, that's just another day in this in the shit show of this reality. So remember, bro, you are the prize, bro. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm the prize. Yeah, especially me, this autistic fucking manlet ethnic guy. Of course, bro, I'm the prime. I am the prize for these cutie jailbaits. You're right, Ronald. I just need to find the value that is hidden in me that I just don't see because of societal conditioning. Oh yeah, I have so much value to prime females, of course. Yeah. Yeah, seek contentment instead. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all you can hope for, just to be content. There's not much else. I mean, the best you can really do is just try to avoid as much pain as you can until you leave this world, basically. That's the wisest way of thinking of it. I mean, at the end of it, I still enjoy this experience. I still think that it's a very existence is a very mysterious thing. Just to a couple of times, just to reflect on it and just realize that, holy shit, there's this experience of existing, which is really fucking weird when you really think about it. But I mean, it's hard to appreciate that because you're so used to it, right? You're so used to existing that you don't really see the sort of the fascinating reality of it. But I guess it's just something that you have to reflect on once in a while to realize just how precious life really is. Because even though I know that I am a complete subhuman to most people, I don't need to be a subhuman to myself. That's why I love myself anyway. Because no one else is gonna do it for me. So that's why I tell all other subhumans that you don't have any reason to hate yourself. I understand that you want female validation, and that it's instinctually crucial for you to have it, but I wouldn't say that it's a deal breaker. I wouldn't kill myself just because of that. I still have a life to live, a life to enjoy, with or without women. So I mean, I guess I like kind of mixing the whole. I like kind of mixing the black pill together with the MGTOW thing, because I still like a lot of the philosophy of the MGTOW, of the MGTOWs. So, but the problem is that to have this sort of mentality, it takes a special kind of human to have this mentality. Not humans. Not every type of guy can do this. Most guys just see themselves as worthless without a female, and they would rather kill themselves than keep on living without a chick. So it's just I guess only narcissists like me will be able to survive the insulin problem, I guess. I don't know. It's a difficult topic. I understand why men commit suicide because of insulin. I mean, I completely understand it, but at the same time, I still think it's cucked to kill yourself over not getting poon. I still think it's pretty fucking cucked. I'm sorry if it sounds as if I'm bashing incels who kill themselves. I'm not doing it. I understand why they do it. I understand it, but it's just that I still think that it's a waste of life to just end it just because you can't coom in a vagina. I still think it's cucked, So yeah. Maybe male separatism will gain momentum in the next years. I think the majority of men are suffering a state of only men and AI girlfriends and artificial wombs like in Blade Runner. Yeah, that sounds nice. A male separatist movement. That sounds nice in theory, but in practice, it just doesn't work because these instincts to compete for pussy is just so hardwired into the male collective organism that you will never see this happening. I'm sorry, but it's just I don't think that you will see this happening. I'm sorry, but you won't. I mean, I don't see how this will happen. I'm guessing that this could, you could see this phenomena happening slowly, just because of these, just because of men with these traditionalist mentalities will slowly take themselves out of the gene pool, and these narcissistic men like myself will be able to, will take the lead. They will take the sort of they will be the new class of men. But I don't know, the instincts will still always be there, so I don't see how this will change anytime soon. But it's a nice thought anyway. It is. Chads sometimes get monkey branched to giga chads. Yeah, it does happen. I mean, there are no guarantees in life. That's that's true. No matter what type of position you are in life, nothing is guaranteed. When you are a Chad, as default, you're going to be treated way better by other people than all the men below you in looks and mental status, but you're still not safe from the occasional accident, physical or mental accident. You're still not free from the occasional cuckold. You can still be cucked. You can still get cucked. You can still get murdered. You're still a human at the end of it, but it's just that you have so much leverage, so much fucking leverage compared to all the men beneath you. So yeah, I don't deny that happens. It does happen, but the Chad is just it's no big deal. He can still easily get another woman. So it's no big deal. Just pretend you went MGTOW, bro. You'll feel better. Yeah. yeah. That's the way it is. No roasty will ever get near my money. Yeah, that's a good mentality to have. I mean, it is best to go MGTOW as a subhuman, because it's good to have. It's like you have to synthesize. You have to form like a synthesis between MGTOW and black pill. That's the only way you incels will be able to move forward with your life. To know that you were never wanted to begin with, but at the same time adapt the MGTOW philosophy anyway, just because it is so fucking practical. You can't deny that. You can't deny the practicality of MGTOW. So that's a very wise choice, Ronald McDonald. It's a very good choice to have that mentality anyway, because if you beta box, you'll just be in a worse position that you are in now, because you'll be incel on top of having starfish sex with this roasty that doesn't even care about you, that is thinking of Chad as you are plowing her. So how is that a better position to be in than to simply live a hedonistic, narcissistic lifestyle, egoistic lifestyle, or whatever, which is just the most rational path to take as an incel guy that is never going to be loved by anyone. So you just have to adopt the rational egoism, and you just have to adopt rational egoism and just love yourself as much as you can, because that's all you have at the end of it. All you have is yourself. So So yeah, that's a very wise way of thinking, Ronald. Hypothetically, if Chad got a virgin JB to fall in love with him, would that be true monogamy, or would she just pump and dump? Um, I mean, that would be true monogamy. That would be, but would she just pump and dump? I mean, that's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, women would be happier if they had Chad by default from the very beginning. You know, if they lost their virginity to a Chad, of course they would rather have that than lose their virginity to a subhuman like me or you. I mean, obviously, but the reason why that is that good question is because even though perhaps females would like to have that from the start, if you still have a sort of polygamous society, she will still have the thought of cheating on even Chad with Giga Chad, because unfortunately, like another commenter said, women are just never happy. They're just never happy with what they have, so they'll always want to be with something better. So I guess I agree to some extent with the way that traditionalists think that women still need to be restrained. But the thing is that I don't know. I mean, they still need to be restrained, but they'll still always love Chad no matter what. I mean, so I still think that relationship has a higher chance, much more higher chance of being sustainable. So I still don't think that the Chad would get cheated on. That would just take a special, a very special kind of sort of roasty to cheat on such a high value male. So it's just yeah. In general, yeah, that would work, but restraints, societal restraints, still need to be put on them, just for the sake of maintaining that relationship. So yeah, it's a mix of both. You know, it's both societal reinforcement and biological imperatives as well. It has to be a good mix of both to have this sustainable sort of relationships, I guess. Everything is scope. If you think about it, we all have the same road end. Yeah. I mean, that is correct. That is correct. I mean, if you want to talk hypothetically speaking, like if you were like if you swapped your mind into a Chad body, obviously it would be fun for you, a shit ton of fun for a while. Of course, you would have fun banging JBs and stuff and enjoying some quality relationships, but at the end of it, everything gets boring at the end of it. You know, everything just gets boring. The brain is just not meant to be constantly delighted, to be constantly delighted all the time. It just always gets bored because that's just what the driving force wants. The driving force of evolution is just never satisfied. It just wants more and more expression. You know, more people to be born and more people to be sentenced to death, and that's why I think that the black pill inevitably, no matter if you're an incel or a Chad, if you swallow the black pill, it will lead you to antinatalism and nihilism. It's just inevitable, you know, because you'll just realize that all of it is just so fucking boring. You know? Everything is cope at the end of it. Yeah, you're right about that. I really envy you, Martyrs, having the attention span and the motivation of eating whole philosophy books. I usually get bored and stop reading after a couple of pages. Well, thanks, I guess. I don't see how that is anything to be envious of. I mean, it's just another cope. I mean, it's a good cope at the end of it. Yeah, it really is. But it's just another way of maintaining the brain sharp. You know, I'm pretty much forced to do it because when I don't, I just get so fucking. I just get so much brain fog that I just can't function. So I'm forcing myself to read these books, and I'm not even enjoying them. You know, it's a pain in the ass. But I force myself to read these books, and what my whole plan with the whole channel is to basically take the best parts of all of these books and basically throw them out there in my videos, so to hopefully help you guys, because this channel, I didn't make this channel just to meme. You know, I want to joke and stuff sometimes, but I still want to make some serious stuff to help you guys. But you know, but because I still think that life is precious, and I still think that that you shouldn't hate yourself because of your shortcomings, and that's the only issue I have with the black belt community, is that it has this self-destructive sort of mentality that I want to help get rid of, because I still think that I know that life may not ever be, it may not seem to be enjoyable without women, but I just want you guys to know that whether you're with someone or not, I mean, there are negatives and positives to all aspects of life, so you shouldn't feel bad just because of your insult them. You know, you can still make your life worthwhile in whatever way you can. You know, you just have to find the tools out there to help you, and I would like to help if you let me help. So yeah. But that's for future videos. I haven't done much of that, but that's one of my main projects in this channel, is that I want to help you guys to deal with this insulting issue, because it can be dealt with the right tools. It's just that most of you were never given these tools to help you with. So, but I understand why, because you know, it's because of bad parents. It's because of bad teaching. You know, like what the fuck has your school taught you about philosophy and how to deal with life and all that? They taught you basically nothing. So, you know, you just have to find out stuff for yourself, and just find good copes, you know. Because at the end of it, there's a shit ton of good copes out there that could help you. You just have to find them, you know. You just have to find the time to find these good copes. And philosophy is just one of many good copes. It's just one of them. It's just one branch of a whole entire tree of copes. So yeah. You can definitely be happy. You just have too high standards. I really think left ideas is the way of the future if one really truly wants to attain happiness. Well, if by left you mean the political left, well, I don't know about that, because you can already see that it's a very self-conflicting ideology, and I don't know. I mean, all politics have their good ideas, but in practice, I mean, they just I don't know. I mean, you just have to take the tools that work for you. I mean, if there is any ideology that works for you, I mean, you just have to cope with it. Just be aware of the fact that it's cope at the end of it, and then you won't take it as seriously as you would. So I'm happy all the time. Never been depressed or stressed out about anything. I get energized around negativity like a vampire. Yeah, if that works for you, then that's good. That's awesome. If I get energized around negativity, I can kind of relate with that to some extent. I remember seeing a bunch of drama in my my former employments. I saw a lot of drama between bosses and co-workers because of stupid shit. And I know it sounds immoral, but I don't give a shit about. I mean, I take a lot of energy from that. Yeah, it's fun to watch. It's like watching the zoo, Like I have nothing against the people partaking in it, but it's still fun to watch this this tragic comedy, as Schopenhauer called it. This tragic comedy between people. It's enjoyable sometimes. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I assumed a long time ago that my time is limited, and I can either LDR or try and see all that the universe allows me to observe. Yeah. I mean, me personally. I mean, I exaggerate. This whole LDR thing. Obviously, I'm not. Obviously, I'm memeing about it most of the time. I'm not really serious about it. I'm not telling you to lay down and rot. To do it, to basically do it and just die. Of course, it's kind of a waste of time to just lay down and rot. And there's nothing wrong with laying down and rotting, but even that is boring, at the end of it. So yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Learning about the universe, its mechanics, it's fun. Yeah, I like to study physics sometimes, and philosophy and stuff. And yeah, it's just a very mysterious world, and the fact that we are here to experience it, it's a sort of miracle in of itself. And it's sad that most people don't appreciate that, but it is what it is. It's just very few people that can appreciate this whole experience. And I don't deny that it's a very shitty experience for most people, but it couldn't hurt to just observe it and try to understand the mechanics behind everything. I, for example, like to play with my emotional mechanics. Sometimes, for example, when I'm feeling really depressed, I just observe it. I don't try to stop the depression from happening. I just observe it, and I just try to. And sometimes I even enjoy it. I even enjoy the sort of pain that comes from this existential dread. I know it sounds kind of perverse and kind of, how do you say it, morbid, but that's one of my many copes that I like. It's a very effective cope, because what happens is that when you realize just how mechanical your emotions are, you realize, well, oh shit, holy shit, today I feel bad because of this. And today I feel happy because of this. Oh, I had a good meal. I had a nice chat with my parent or a friend or whatever. Oh shit, yeah, I'm happy. And oh shit, now I'm suddenly unhappy. And oh well, it's just very mechanical, and I just enjoy just watching the puppetry that is happening within me. So this whole experience, it's kind of mysterious how you can sort of self-reflect on that, and in that way you can sort of make yourself sturdier to some extent. It's a good cope. It is. The question is, why are we just sitting around laying down LDRing? Blacks took to the streets. Homosexuals took to the streets. We should take to the streets. I'm tired of this passive-aggressive acceptance. Well, no one is stopping you from going out and expressing your angst. If you want to do it. But me personally, I don't. I'd rather just sit in my coffee room and just enjoy this experience. I don't see any point in chimping out about it. I mean, it's not like I'm getting constantly harassed by people all the time. I get the occasional ugly stare from time to time when I go out because of my true seldom, but it doesn't really affect me as much as it used to. I mean, as boring as life is, it's still comfy. It's still way comfier than it was back then when you used to live in a cave and used to need to fucking defend yourself against predators and stuff. I don't see how that life mugs this one. I don't see how. I don't see how this obsession with wanting to have this stressful kind of life where you're always on the edge, how that is more preferable than a life where you just sit in your room and cope. I don't see how that is preferable to this life. I mean, if that's the life that you want to have, to live on the edge all the time, then go ahead and do it. But me personally, no. I rather just cope and LDR. That's just me. Doesn't mean that you have to do it, but if that's not your life, then well, no one's stopping you from chimping out. That's all I'm saying. Is religion a decent cope for some? There's a religious apologist who did a response to Lookism and black pill and largely agreed with the data of hypergamy. Then he offered religion as a cope. Yeah, religion. It's one of the oldest copes that there is. I mean, and I'm not against incels who cope with religion. I mean, if you want to cope with religion, go ahead. I'm not stopping you, but just to be aware of the fact that at the end of it, it's cope. Just to be aware of the fact that it's that. Just to remind yourself that not to land yourself on self-delusion again. If you just do that, then there's nothing wrong with it, because if you the problem with religion is that if you take it too seriously, then you'll become this fucking fanatic and you'll fucking lash out at people and you'll call other people degenerate and just you'll just never be at peace with yourself. You should only take religion as a way of finding peace, not as a way of finding another way of radicalizing yourself, if you get what I mean. So if religion works for you, I mean, sure, I mean, go ahead and do it. I mean, it's I guess it's a good cope. But me personally, I don't see how I've thought about joining some religious community, but I just don't find it in myself. I've never been a religious person myself. I mean, I was raised Catholic by my parents, but I just never really found in it inside of me to accept this sort of religion. It's just for some reason, I don't know, some reason it's always just felt like it was just a cult. It never felt like something that spoke to my soul or whatever. So yeah, but if it helps you cope, I mean, go ahead. You know, it's a good cope from what I've seen. Det måste fortsätta med Black Pill-serien. Så jävla hög IQ. That was in Swedish, of course. He said you have to continue with the Black Pill series. Well, I don't know where he got that from, because I haven't even started the series yet. I'm still working on it, so I don't know when the fuck I'm gonna release it. Yeah, it will take time, because what I'm basically doing is I'm using ideas from a shit ton of other philosophers and compressing them into one sort of series. And it's just hard to. It's really hard to. How can I say it? To connect all of these ideas and form a very comprehensive series. It's just not easy. It's more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, hopefully the series will help the Black Pill community in dealing with the inceldom issue, I guess. But of course, I can't be too. I can't. Fuck! I'm having brain fog again. I can't really hope for the best, because I know at the end of it, this series will probably only benefit a few, and most of the people watching it will just think that it's garbage, I guess. So yeah. Try to make the material conditions for men better, or two, we just end it for every one of these normals who live off of our misery and destroy society. Well, I don't see how this inceldom issue is. Maybe this will sound wrong to most of you, but I don't think this inceldom issue is an issue for subhumans. It's more an issue for normies, because speaking as a true soul, when you are to these levels of depth, you don't even you develop a sort of anhedonia that you don't even want things to go better. I mean, you're kind of indifferent. You're like, well, things go bad or things go well, it doesn't really matter, because if things go bad, then your natural instincts will kick in and the body just does what it does. You know, the body just runs on autopilot and survives. You know, it finds a way to survive no matter what. So I don't see a reason to worry about stuff. You know, if you want to spread your genes, if your instincts are really that hardwired into you, then your body will just do it automatically. It will find a woman to breed with. You don't even think about it. This idea that the mind is in control of the body is just a side effect of this blindness that we have of our own body. You know, we have this consciousness, and this consciousness gives us this illusion that we have control of our body, but at the end of it, we don't. You know? It's just a repetition of instincts that has been hardwired into our organisms from millions of years of evolution, and that shit is just hardwired into the brainstem. It's just so I just don't see why you should stress yourself over these issues, because all of these issues at the end of it is just an issue for normies. Most incels either just end up roping, or they manage to live with it, as I have managed to. And that's just the sad fact, is that the way that this society is structured, not many men will be able to survive it. That's just a sad reality. And all I can say is that the only way to push through is just to find good copes. That's all you can do, really. And some copes don't work for some people, and some copes do work for some people, and people just find their own niches. I found my own niche, which is philosophy and stuff, and my waifu, and that doesn't necessarily work for you. If that doesn't work for you, then you have to find your niche. You have to find your drive or whatever. My favorite cope or thing to do is listen to music all the time. Sometimes it's better than having a shitty, uncomfortable sex or a toxic partner. If I don't have that, then I would rather kill myself, to be honest. Music is a good cope. I don't deny that. Music is a really good cope. I like listening to drum and bass. I fucking love drum and bass, man. I listen to it almost every fucking day. I listen to that shit. I just never get tired. I never fucking get tired of that. And classical music I like as well. Wagner. Some Mozart as well. It's also good. And yeah, some 80s music I like as well. The Patch Mode and stuff. Yeah. There's a shit ton of good copes, shit ton of good music out there. Let's see. Where is a good comment here? How long can you LDR max, and how will you cope when the money runs out? Well, I have a decent stash of cash. From my estimates, I could probably LDR for around 5 years, and still have some money left. But my plan when this whole unemployment, when this unemployment, all the unemployment checks that I'm receiving right now, when that runs out, then I'm planning to take autism box. But I'm not sure if I will be able to take that, because I've been working for like 5 years, and I just don't see how someone that has been working for 5 years, how a person like that could be given autism box. It's very hard to. I don't see how that will happen. It's very difficult. So I will try doing that, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Very likely I will be denied autism box, and I will just be forced to wage cook again, which I have nothing against. It is what it is. That's just what you're forced to do. But yeah, I'm not worrying about that right now. Right now, I'm just enjoying this. My autism. No, my. What am I saying? My unemployment checks, which I have an entire year to live on. So Yeah, it's not a big issue for me, especially now as I live with my parents, so it's not really that much expense that I'm having. So it's pretty chill right now. I I have an entire year before I can start. Before I need to start thinking about whether I'll be getting autism bucks or if I'll be forced to wage cook again. Well, we'll see about that. If we were living in ancient Greece, you will be the price for sure, because ideas and utility were more important than dumb lookism of this dumb modern society. Society. Well, maybe. I mean, it is true that what is considered valuable, it fluctuates at time periods. Right now, obviously, since utility and philosophy and all of that, to a very large extent, isn't really needed, isn't really valued by the masses, then of course lookism is what wins the dollar, you know. But yeah, during harsh times, all of that could flip around, and what is considered valuable could be considered to be something else. That's very true. It is never objective, you know. What is considered valuable by civilizations is never something that is static. It always fluctuates. So that is true. But you still can't deny that lookism has always been a big part of our conditioning. You know, if you look at the ancient Greek statues, you don't see any statues of subhumans. You know, so lookism, it is universal at the end of it. And it has to do with thermodynamics, you know, because humans are basically machines that run on the laws of conservation of energy. So this whole beauty aspect exists because those genotypes, those phenotypes that have these facial characteristics, the reason why they're attractive is because when you have kids with people that have these characteristics, then obviously their kids, your kids, the spawn of both of you will have higher chances of spawning even more people. So it has this utility of being more. It has this thermodynamic utility of having a better efficiency for expansion. You know, for expansion of the organism. That's basically what beauty has as a sort of utility for the organism, because it has this very aesthetic utility to make more people, you know. So that's why we developed this dualistic sort of mind of viewing people as either ugly or beautiful. Because if we didn't have this filter of looking at people as either ugly or handsome, then how could the human body determine what has more chance of spreading the genes, and what has lesser chances of spreading the genes? It's all about expansion, you know, just like any other organism, just like bacteria and just like viruses. Bodies just want to expand and survive as efficiently as we can, you know. So it's very mechanical and kind of tragic, but that's the hand that we are dealt with, you know. And that is happening even with you. The filtering process is even happening in your brain, and you're not even conscious of it, you know. Just watch yourself as you are walking in a crowded environment, and you see your brain filtering out people automatically. It's just doing it automatically. You're not even thinking about it. You're just thinking, oh, look how shitty looking that person is. I want to fucking avoid that person. Oh, look how fucking beautiful that person is. I want to fucking breathe with that person. You know, it's very mechanical. It's just the human body doing what it's doing. You know, it's just sad. You know. Yeah, but without this programming, without this programming, we wouldn't have the civilization that we have today. So I guess it was useful to have that programming. So it's just evolution in action. It's brutal. It doesn't take any prisoners. It's awful, but that's just how nature works, And as what is happening with us, we're getting bred out of the gene pool, and that's just what happens, It's just part of the process. And as far as government-sanctioned girlfriend, that is literally impossible due to male excess. Men have every right to not support a society that doesn't benefit them. Yeah, of course. I mean, here we go again with this utility. The mind does it automatically, as I've already explained. Individuals like political parties that benefit them the most, and they don't give a shit about any other political party that doesn't benefit them. So it's just yeah, of course we do have the right to not support the society that doesn't benefit us, but at the same time I don't know, I mean, I still don't agree with taking down society just because of the fact that we can't breed. It's just so passive, in my opinion. It's like, I get it. I get that you want to express that instinct and all that, but society is still pretty chill as it is, I understand that you want to breed and stuff, but I mean, I don't see how breeding in of itself solves the issue, because then you're just passing the misery of life onto someone else. So I don't know. I mean, it's best to just. It may sound cocked to some of you, but as long as no one is bothering me, I mean, I'm not against this society. I mean, it's not like I'm getting beaten up by people randomly and stuff. I mean, I could still just be here in my room and just chill, So, I mean, what else do you want? I mean, do you want a fucking mansion? Do you want a fucking luxury car? What the fuck do you want? I mean, this is what I don't get with a lot of black pill, a lot of people in the black pill incel communities. That I get it that you want to express your instincts and stuff, but the harsh reality is that you were never gonna be loved anyway. I mean, I already explained this. Real unconditional love only exists for Chad. So I mean, either you can take this society, this comfy society, and cope and rot, and if you don't like it, then well, no one is stopping you from moving to C or to go ER or whatever. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, yeah, if you just don't like it, if you don't like the society, then no one is stopping you from being a rebel against it. But me personally, I don't see any reason why, because I can still live in peace. I can mind my own business. As long as people aren't really harassing me in real life, no one is bothering me, so I don't see why. What is the issue here? What is why are we supposed to take down this superstructure just because we can't spread our genes? I don't know. I mean, it just sounds so passive aggressive to me. A lot of people back in the day would fucking kill to be in such a comfy environment that we have now. I mean, life is just so fucking good compared to back when you died in your 30s because of some stupid illness like a cold or something. I mean, and you never had any semesters. You could never skip a day of work. You basically worked yourself to death. And now you no longer need to do any of that. You can just chill. I mean, so I don't see this whole. I don't see why so many insults just want to take it down just because they can't breathe. I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, I just don't. I don't see the point. You know. I know that it's your instinct to breathe and stuff, but you don't need to be a slave to your fucking instincts all the time. You know. So I really think that a lot of incels need to introspect some bit, a lot, I would say, and just realize that they're in a very good position right now, but they just don't realize it. They just want to keep whining and stuff, and I'm guilty of that too. You know, I'm of course I want the prime teen JB and stuff, but I'm not gonna kill myself or try to take down the society or this government just because of that. You know. Of course, I would love to have it, but I'm not gonna chimp out over it. I'm not gonna kill myself over it, and I'm definitely not gonna go ER just because of it. That's just a waste of my life, you know. So yeah. Oh shit! There's so many fucking comments here. Yeah, I'm gonna end this in about how many minutes? Yeah, let's keep this to 2 hours. I'm gonna end it in 13 minutes. So yeah, 30 minutes until I end it. 2 hours is nice, I guess. It's not too much, not too little, I guess. It's very much as actually 2 hours. Holy fuck. Okay, let's skip some of these comments. I can't answer all of these comments. Holy shit. Oh, let's see first here. What's up first? I'm glad you're watching this stream. I'm sorry that I called you a bunch of bad words on my former rant there. I was just venting, you know, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I hope you didn't take that too badly. Yeah, no one will escape the fungi supercycle. It's set for eternity. Our current reality is just a small, miserable chain in the process. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, sometimes I find it very funny how people try to find the meaning of life. Oh, what is the meaning of life, bro? And of course, you could come with your own. You could come up with your own copes and stuff and say, oh, well, you could create your own meaning, you know, like the psychiatrist tells you to, you know. And that's nice. That's a good cope. You know, that's I cope with that too. You know, I create my own meaning in life. I don't let anyone else create it for me. And it's a good cope. It's an excellent cope. But objectively, if we want to be as objective as we can, the meaning of life is to get eaten up by maggots or fungi, as you described here first. That's the brutal, harsh black pill reality, is that creatures exist in this globe to get eaten up by bacteria, by viruses, by fungi. Because at the end of it, that's basically what we do here. And we can't deny that we are animals ourselves. It's just that we're animals that have developed more abstract ways of thinking, more cognitive abilities. But the main force behind us, the main driving force, the will to life, as Schopenhauer told us, is the same everywhere. It's exactly the same everywhere. People just have to compete. They have to mug each other for job opportunities. They have to eat each other. They have to fucking kill each other during wars. And the very thing is happening in the animal kingdom. It just never changes. The meaning of life is to die. That's what the main objective meaning to life is to die. That's what the main objective is all about. One could cope with religious stuff and create on one's own meaning, but at the end of it, everyone's destiny is the same: is to just rot and get eaten up by this universe, or by smaller organisms in this planet. That's just the harsh, brutal reality of it. At the end of it, all your memories, all your delicious memories, basically your entire life, which has been implanted in your fucking neurons, get eaten up by maggots for their delicious glucons. So your entire life, basically all your memories, everything you ever experienced, gets essentially eaten up by the very world that gave birth to you. So that's just a process that is happening all the time. It's just we like to paint life as if it's something beautiful, that is worthwhile, and that is worth spreading on to someone else. But more than anything, it's just a lie that we tell ourselves just to cope with it better. And I just can't. And I personally just cannot stop but think that it's the best to just adopt antinatalism and just finish this off with ourselves. I'm not saying that we should kill ourselves. I'm just saying that we should just basically end this whole circus with ourselves. That's what I think that that's what I personally think that needs to be done. But I understand that most of you will not adopt this mindset because it's just so dark, so painful to adopt. But I just can't help but advocate this sort of mentality because it needs to be done. It needs to be done. Life is precious, but it's not worth to spread on. It's not worth to pass it forward, because at the end of it, each story that we have in our brains, all of our experiences, is going to end, and it's going to end tragically. I don't know how my story is going to end. I don't know if I'm going to get Alzheimer's, or I don't know what the fuck I'm going to get, or maybe I'm going to die from my car accident, which is very likely because I like to drive very fast sometimes. During weekends, I like to drive around stuff, and it's just I like to be very speedy with the car. So I don't know, maybe I'll die from a car accident or heart disease or Alzheimer's. I don't give a shit. I mean, I'll die in whatever way possible, but it's gonna happen. Life is just a story that is taking place, and it's gonna end badly for all of us. And I know that insultdom sucks. I'm not denying that, but that's just because you have these hardwired instincts that are hardwired into you, and it's hard to ignore those instincts. I understand it, but the best we could do is to simply just try to be aware of these instincts and just try to just turn the volume down, because you know at the end of it, it's just mechanical instincts. You don't need to be slaves to these fucking processes, you know. It's a very passive way of living. So, but I understand that most people just cannot introspect to these levels. I understand that most of you will not be able to do that. Most of you will rather rope than keep on living as in celibates. And what can I say? I mean, I can't help you there. All I can say is just you need to change your mindset. But the harsh reality is that not a lot of us, most of us just cannot change our mindsets. Most of us need pussy to keep on living. And that's just the harsh fact of life, you know. So yeah. Fuck. This is disgusting. Yeah, my Pepsi turned warm because I was holding it in my hand too long, so all the cold it dispersed, so it's no longer cold. Ew. Yeah. Okay. That was first from Insomatics. Thanks for the comment first. Yeah. I'm not against the Insomatics guys. I mean, they're high IQ. They have their good streams and stuff, but I just don't like how they're trying to find solutions to the black pill. That's the only thing I don't agree with, because the harsh reality is that there is no solution to the black pill. You can change your mindset, yeah, but the objectiveness of the black pill is still always there, you know. You're a genetic dead end. That's just the cold, hard fact. But all I can say is that you don't need to blame yourself for it, because you need to remind yourself that it wasn't your choice to be a subhuman. So why should you blame yourself? If it was never your choice, how the fuck can you be held accountable for it? Why should you feel bad about it? Why should you feel as if you're a criminal for it? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, as much as I'm hated by everyone and by foids and by normies, I'm still gonna live on. I still have a life to enjoy. I still have my waifu to live for, so, and my family, so, you know, so for me, it's not a big deal. But I understand that for most people, most of you just cannot live like that. Most of you need female validation. And all I can say is that, well, the only way to escape that wiring is to either introspect to the point where you realize that it's not really something to give a shit about, and to still value your life, because no one else is going to do it for you. So then you just need to have the change of mindset. And as much as we like to shit on MGTOWs for their coping mentality, you still can't deny that their philosophy is very practical. So what I would advise most of you to do is just try to adopt that mentality as best as you can. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, not much else to say about that. But yeah, I don't have much else to say. I think I've vented enough, ranted enough. I know it was a boring talk, but I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for listening. And see you guys next time.